Hello, this is SN Atheist on YouTube, and this is the review of the Carmina Full Brogue Wingtip boots. I had been wanting to get a pair of Shell Cordovan boots for a while, and due to the cost, I've been hesitant on making that purchase. But basically, about 2 boots later, I ended up with these. I had some Shell Cordovan Aldens and then an Allen Edmonds. And both of those did not work out, unfortunately. The Alden developed a small defect. Alden wasn't happy with selling me that boot, so they offered to exchange it or to refund. I opted to refund, but the one for Allen Edmonds was just trash. There was too many defects with those boots that I received them and immediately put them back in the box and sent them back to Allen Edmonds. It was not very nice, not a very good pair of boots. But these are the Carminas. The quality and attention to detail is definitely better than Allen Edmonds. The stitching is cleaner. The stitching is more even. The spacing between the stitch and the edge of the material is better. The lining up of the uppers, like lining up all the pieces and stitching it together, is also better done. The distance, between the band and the, and the what's called the wingtips and everything just looks perfect. Everything looks to be lined up really, really well. There's really very few issues with the boots, other than some small burnishing issues. But otherwise, they look really, really, really amazing. One issue is right there. You guys can see a little bit of ink has kind of spilled on it whenever it was being manufactured. Not really a big deal to me, in my opinion. It's not that big of a deal for me. Some things are a big deal for me, but that's not one of them. Otherwise, though, I think there's like one crooked brogue pattern. I'm trying to remember where the hell it is. I can't even freaking find it. Might be on the other pair. Oh yeah, I think it is on the other pair. Well, anyways, one of them is slightly crooked on the brogue, but not really a big deal because obviously I can't even remember where the hell it is. But very, very few flaws in this shoe. Everything is really well done. The welt is done really evenly, really nice and even, leveled. The width of the welt is very even all throughout the shoe. There's very little variance, unlike others who can't seem to get their welts right. Allen Edmonds, I'm pointing at you. Look at that. I'm not surprised. This is really common with Allen Edmonds. They're the people that welt it and then shape it. They don't do the best job, but they're probably trying to get through a lot of pairs as many pairs as possible. So the width of the welt, the shaping of the welt is usually not done very well on. It's done really well, but not done to the level of Carmina well. But the stitching, all of that stuff on Allen Edmonds, there's a lot of hand done things, but there's a lot of inconsistencies. They're not as nice as, for example, as this, where the welt is very, very nice and even. The decorations on the welt are done really well. They're not, sloppy by any means. Let's see if we can get this thing to focus. Yeah, there we go. But the decorations on the welt are done really well. The medallions are really nicely done, well and centered, as you guys can tell. My Aldens, the medallions, well, the way that the welts were done and the way that they were constructed, they were not very they were not aligned between the left and the right boot, and that was on 2 pairs of Alden Shell Cordovans, not one but 2 of them. There's just more consistency and attention to detail on the Carminas than there is on a pair of Allen Edmonds or on a pair of Alden, and they're definitely right up there with even some of the English greats like Crockett and Jones or maybe even John Lobb, in my opinion. But the quality is really good. The linings is extremely supple, really, 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 really soft. Even the nylon fabric here is really nicely done. And at least compared to, like, for example, the Daltons. They have also some material here, some leather, but those things rip out all the time. These are unlikely to rip out. Really nicely done. There's a lot of color depth on the Cognac Shell Cordovan. Depending on the angle that you see it, it's a bit of a brown color to honey colored, and it's really, really well done. We have here Day-Night Soul, Goodyear Welted, of course. You have the Carmina logo on the Day-Night Soul here. Hopefully you guys can see that. But really good traction, really, really comfortable boot. This particular last, this is a 6.5 UK size in the rain last, and it fits really, really well. Here's another, attention to detail. As you guys can tell, let me get the same size here. But as you guys can tell, look at the distance between the eyelets and where the wingtips are, and you guys can see there the spacing between them are very, very even, very, very similar to one another. Same thing on the other side if you look at them. The distance here, very, very similar. Not identical, but very, very similar. By just glancing at it, you could tell that they're both very even. This is not the case on Allen Edmonds or the two Aldens that I had. Both of them were a bit off. In fact, on my Aldens, the pair that I kept but ended up having to return due to defects, the eyelet piece here and the wingtip were actually touching, even though they were not supposed to. But like I said, attention to detail. When the Carminas are being made, they're probably spending more time when they're clicking the leather, when they're attaching the uppers, when they're welting it. When all of those processes are going on, they're paying more and more attention to detail than some of the American manufacturers. But then again, the American manufacturers are a little bit cheaper, except for Alden, who is fairly close to price with Carmina. But these are definitely the better shoes. Let me give y'all a shot of the lining. This is a red lining. These were MTO boots, made to order boots, so somebody had these customized to this particular configuration. You cannot order these on the online customizer. You have to either call it in or email in, and I was told that the price on these was $1,200 or $1,150, I think, was the fee. But yeah, really nice. Oh, and the heels are done better. This is individual leather stacks with rubber, because it's the day-night. But there's no, my nail's not catching on, as you guys can tell. The finish is really nice, really smooth. No bubbles. The finish on the Shell Cordovan is really smooth, no bubbles. Oh, there's an area that I need to clean up there. But anyways, no bubbles anywhere in the finish. Dyed was really well done. But yeah, if you guys are looking for boots, definitely keep Carmina in mind. If you guys are looking for shoes or boots, keep these people in mind. They are really doing it really, really well. The quality is just, it's really, really, really high. Definitely up there with Crockett & Jones, John Lobb. Maybe not as good as Gaciano and Gerling or Edward Green, but it's definitely right up there.